reposted by Alyssa Mercante. I mean, I'm not going to go so far as Hypno did, saying it's a psyop created by Alyssa Mercante, allegedly. But I do find it curious that these people are so eager to find anything wrong on anything, to be like, look, we found it. This is why you can't trust them right here. This is their big gotcha. This is their big magnum opus. And I'm like, what? Like, I vetted you and you got through my filter and I made a video about it. And then you said, haha, I got you. And I made another video saying, yeah, you got me. Like, what grade are we in here? What are we doing? What even is happening? What even is happening? And then Alyssa Mercante reposted. He posted an acknowledgement where instead of showing McDizzle's Twitter page, he proceeds to post his LinkedIn profile. Sure, that was totally not an intentional thing to show his personal socials and not the one affiliated with the post. Weird that Alyssa Mercante takes issue with that. So this is the person that did it to me today. I don't understand. I'm informing people of who did it to me. So wait, hold up. Am I supposed to like play by whose rules? Whose rules are we playing by? Whose rules are we playing by? Because what he did to me today was extremely underhanded, malicious, with an intent to hurt my channel, my business, my life. And then when I make a reply video saying, yeah, this is the guy that did it, and he's doing a dance on Twitter about it, they decide to cry that I show people who it was. Like I'm the bad guy for doing that now? This is rule again, these people are always rules for thee, not for me. Like, bro, if you're gonna come at me, like expect me to come back at you. Don't think that I just take things lying down. That's never been how I operate. Many people have come before you and found that out. Like, don't fuck with me. Like that's allegedly, don't fuck with me. And all I'm doing is reporting on information of who this person was that did this. I think it's very important because he's so excited to let people know who he is, that he did it, that I figured I'd help him out and let people know who he is that did it. I don't see anything wrong with that. He was the one pushing it forward himself. I am the leaker. All right. There you are, everyone. This is the leaker. This is him. I don't understand what the issue is here. See, it'd be one thing if you weren't being malicious when you came at me. I'd say this is kind of out of bounds, but no, this is who you are. This is what you did. I think it's very fascinating that you throw a punch and then you cry when I throw a punch back. That's wild. That's wild. It's always Canadians. Exactly. No offense to the Canadians in here that I love, but yes, it's always the fucking Canadians every time. Call center guy, dog lover, and gaming superstar. I bet you are, bro. I bet you are. As Hypnotic calls him, Grummz Remix 3.7 or whatever. But here's the thing. Like, I think it's funny that now they're crying that I made a response video. They look for anything I talk about in the response video. It's wild. And that this gets retweeted by Alyssa Mercante is mind-blowing to me. This is the same Alyssa Mercante that threw a lawsuit at me, putting my real name out there while redacting her, and my address, by the way, while redacting her address. Fascinating that she's the one that reposts this. That's wild. He also showed that the dude went as far as to create a fake blog and a fake LinkedIn profile backing up that Ubisoft programmer ID angle Honestly, I'm done with this drama. The narrative McDizzle wrote in his post wasn't even legit at this point, as it hinged on any random dipshit sending Smash an email saying, "Hey, bro, I'm a developer. My dad owns Microsoft. Blade will be transgender in the following game. Toodles," with a kiss. And then Smash J would run with it. Again, this is actually really fascinating, which I agree with, by the way. That's a pretty banger comment. Where is it? So we need to start with this one. Where it all began. So before I even go through this, should bring me up on the full screen. So before I even go through that tweet, I should probably go through the email, which actually, hold on. Let me bring his tweet back up, because something is fascinating in this tweet. Something is fascinating here. So this is the own that he tried to get on me, which, okay. This is the email that I received on info@smashjt.com today, which I get a lot of emails, and once in a while they're obvious fakes. Sometimes they're not so obvious, but they are fakes. And as we found out today, once in a while one will get through where I'm like, yeah, that one all checks out. Everything I saw there checks out. And I'm gonna run that story because it looks good. Yeah, no issues. But I will say, when I was reading through the email, I'm trying to find it here. There it is. Okay, let me bring this up. You notice that the email that he shows on the screen here, why do you think he blacks out the name and the email address? Don't you think that's a little bit curious? Because it's almost like he's trying to paint me in the worst light possible, where I just fell for this nothing burger, where anybody would just read this and be like, oh my God, how would he fall for that? Okay. Let's show the actual email instead of the redacted one. I'll let you guys make up your mind on this one. So it comes through, it says, and it comes as Arzu 1990, which I presume 1990 is the guy's date of birth, and I presume Arzu is the guy's first initial and last name. I'm like, proton.me. Okay, I've gotten proton.me emails before from leakers. That's typically an email address that's a burner account that they don't want to get caught on. And I'm like, okay, that all checks out. There's no issues here that I see anything. It says, hi, Smash JT. I'm on contract. Oh, by the way, that's the email address again right there. That's redacted in the other one. I'm on contract with Ubisoft Montreal as a programmer until the end of March, working mainly on Assassin's Creed Hex, which has its problems with scope creep. And I'm like, with scope creep? Okay, maybe I'll chalk that up to like a language barrier because his name is Arzo or whatever. I was like, okay. But I also work closely with the Shadows team. I'm contacting you regarding an upcoming and unannounced delay with Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is mainly due to complaints from cultural officials around the destruction of shrines, but also to patch numerous bugs. The delay should be announced in about a week, and it will probably be until May. And I'm like, okay. Scope creep is a real thing. I don't even know what scope creep is. So, and yes, I did work in the game industry, and I don't know what scope creep is. So, I will take the L on that. I'm not going to try to pretend I know everything. So, anyways, he wrote that, and I'm like, okay, this sounds a little sus right here because it contradicts itself Scope creep is when you start pushing too much in terms of features, ideas into a project that were not in the original design, or ideas basically bloating time, budget. Oh, okay. Okay. See, it's funny. I read it and I was like, oh, it must be a language barrier thing. Makes sense. Makes sense. But anyways, so I read this and I was like, okay, that is weird because it contradicts when it says, although I work with some good people, the team is a mess. And I read that and I'm like, that's really weird to say when you're like, I work with good people, but the team's a mess. Like, why would you say it like that? That's like very contradictory. But I'm like, at the same time, maybe he has like referencing, like I was trying to go out of my way to understand it. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe he's saying he's got like four good friends. But the rest of the team is a bunch of like blue-haired Smurfs. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's what he's referring to. Sharing this with you as the game is not ready state and disrespectful to Asian culture. Although I work with some good people, the team is a mess. My name is Rune Zhu, if you want to confirm. So now they are proactively trying, he's leading me to be like, hey, I'm just letting you know, this is who I am, and that's how you can prove it is I'm a real person. Here you go. But I do not want my name to have anything to do with this, as I need to find a job after this contract is done, and I'd be breaking NDA. Runes, whatever. I'm like, okay. I had like my suspicious meter, if we had like one of those bars, my suspicious meter was kind of like, it's like 25, 30% sus, but like 70% believable, which is more than most of these that come through where I'm just like, nah. This one actually passed the sus meter. I was like, okay. So I'm a little sus. So what I'm going to do is I'm considering running this story. So the next thing that I do here is I look the name up and I'm like, oh, I'm Runze Zhu. I recently graduated student with a bachelor's degree in computer science. I specialize in game development, gameplay, UI programming. I'm like, oh, okay. He says who he is. Cool. Keep scrolling down. United Kingdom, blah, 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 designer, educator. Where's the one? I saw one earlier that was Ubisoft. Yeah, there, right here. I scrolled down and I saw this. I'm IP banned from LinkedIn, so I can't even click on it. But generalist programmer at Ubisoft Montreal. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. If this was a wildly outlandish thing, I would have asked for more. I would have asked for, hey, I'm going to need a screenshot of something. I'm going to need backup, proof of credentials. Give me something, because I can't just run a wild story based off of, trust me, bro. But I will tell you what I did, which was, I guess you could say was a mistake at the end of the day, but it's what I've done before and been fine with. So people haven't been maliciously coming after me before. But I was like, okay, this story completely checks out with other things that I've been hearing through the grapevine in the game industry from people that I trust. And I'm like, okay, here's the smoking gun to confirm the rumor that everyone was talking about. It wasn't anything wild. It wasn't outlandish. Like if this was an email that was like, hey, they just canceled the game, I'd be like, bro, come on. I would not have believed that. I would not have. I'd be like, they put millions of dollars into this. I'd be like, you're going to need to send me something to go with that story. But a story like this is like, yeah, you're confirming a rumor. What? I don't understand. So my point of bringing this up is how this person, McDizzle, I keep wanting to call him McDrizzle. I know I'm pulling like a Jaffe moment where I don't know how to say his name. Hypnotic called me out for that, which rightfully so. But I genuinely only know this guy from the Grummz stuff, and I don't ever think about him or talk about him. And I keep thinking it's McDrizzle because it's been raining here, but it's McDizzle, to be clear about it. But when he did this, and blacked out the information purposefully to paint me in the worst light possible, it goes to show just how malicious the intent was with this. Sergeant Sapien, I see you. It'd be funny if they end up delaying it next week anyway. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm saying. It's so believable that I've had multiple people DM me saying that would be the funniest damn thing if that actually happens. And I'm like, well, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. That's how believable it was. I'm like, yeah, this is not a crazy rumor. That's not a crazy email to get about a rumor. It's like, yeah, it's confirming what people are worried about. None of this is reality. And I know this because I am the leaker. See attached. So right there, this is him trying to get a claim to fame. Like, oh, I'm somebody. Guys, I'm this fucking nobody on the internet that have been desperately trying to get attention from people. And what do people, I've said this before multiple times on this channel. What do people do if they can't be successful on YouTube? Because trust me, I've been there, so I know this just as well as this McDizzle character, is you go down this really spiraling dark hole of jealousy. And it's not a great place to be. It's not. I've been there myself. I know the feeling. But god damn, I dug myself out of it before I ever got to a point like this. Like, this is straight up identity theft. Like, this is illegal what he did. I don't know if he's like that retarded, but this is actually like, if this actually ever got out there and affected this Runzezu's career, like, McDizzle would be liable. And I don't even know the law on if it needs to affect his career or not. It might not even have to. Like, this is just this is legal. You can't do that. Exactly, the game stage. Checkmate. I'm the criminal. And now he gives you some bullshit. I did this to demonstrate the bad faith reporting in gaming news. Okay, so remind me again, who exactly is the bad faith in gaming news here? You, the person who is purposefully going out of your way to make up a persona confirmed that works at Ubisoft, create an email address, create a story based around where they work, talking about a rumor that is already pre-existing, and then sending that off to someone that exposes leaks. And I am the bad faith? I am the bad faith? Hold on. What am I missing here? I did this to demonstrate the bad faith reporting in gaming. So you're demonstrating yourself. Okay. Especially around a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ethics in game journal. This guy is giving us a speech on ethics. That is impressive. That is impressive. Hey guys, I got this total own that went well beyond a troll, by the way, that I was going to say borders on illegal activity, but no, it's straight up illegal what he did. Like, it's not something I'd be parading around like, hey, I'm the one that stole someone's identity. This is, oh, by the way, he didn't want to show the guy's name. Wonder why. What do you think? I wasn't going to? Like, what? And thankfully, I'm much bigger than him, so people will see me instead of him. But imagine if roles were reversed. Imagine if this was the big channel doing this to a smaller channel. That'd be fucked up. Smash could have asked for proof. Yeah, and what would you have said? What would you have said? One, either not replied, or no, you would have replied, because if I was taking the bait, you'd be like, oh, I got one. What do I need to say to get him to bite and pull him in? What do I need to say to get him? If someone goes so far as to fabricate their identity, make up who they are, create a fake email address, who's to say they're not going to continue down that road and create a fake paycheck, create fake information, create fake, and then say, I still got him, bro, because it proves that no matter what he does, You can fake the information. That was his ultimate checkmate move. And I didn't do that. So he's like, oh, even better. Now I can just say he doesn't ask for proof. But nothing was going to stop him. That's the point of this. He could have messaged me on a different platform. Where? I'm IP banned from LinkedIn. Thanks to Nick Calandra, allegedly. He could have reached out to other sources. Who? Like, you're just throwing shit at a wall. Like, dude, you are the one that lied and emailed me. What would other sources fucking say? I'm telling you straight up, I don't know anybody on, what's this guy's name? Runze Zoo's team at Ubisoft. I don't know anyone on that team. So who would I reach out to confirm anything? Like, you think I'm some sort of insider in the game industry that just knows everyone on every team? It's like, no, that's not me. I know some people. I don't know anyone on that team specifically. So I don't know what other sources you'd want me to reach out to. I'm grasping at straws here. But he didn't. He did not verify any credentials as any indicated. Yes, I did. I literally did. I didn't just take this at face value. I verified it based off of the name and the position you said. I researched it. I found multiple different places where it said it and post your blog, your games that you've made. And I'm like, okay, verified with an email address that's not from Ubisoft, but is the guy's name, probably to avoid being caught by Ubisoft. Okay. All of this, in my mind, completely checks out. So, like, obviously, I was being deceived. But he's like, he did not verify any credentials as indicated. I did. I said I verified based off of the information that was passed on to me. I looked it up, checked it, double checked it, looked at other sources, verified it in multiple different places, and was like, yeah, good enough for me. I'm going to run this story because of the severity of the story. On a scale of like 1 to 10 in severityness, like, this is like, I don't know, a 3? Like Assassin's Creed getting booted a month back again? Like, first off, is anyone even surprised hearing that? No. This is not shocking news. This is not a wild story. This is just information confirming a story that was being rumored. Again, if this was Shadows is canceled and they laid off the whole team, and Ubisoft is going to announce that Tencent is buying them and this, that, the other thing, I'd have a hell of a lot more questions. So what this person is doing in obvious bad faith is taking a very easy to believe story that has been heavily rumored already and doing a really good job as far as proving who he is, doing his research for this email to me, and giving a very believable story and running with that as, see, you can't trust him because he took that story. It's like, okay, try me again with an actual story, one that would actually shock people. And let me tell you how I'd react to that one. It would be a hell of a lot different. Now, people could say, oh, you should approach all your stories with the same level of professionalism and the same level of research that you do for every story. And I'm like, bro, first off, I wish I had your time, because holy crap, that sounds amazing to have that much free time in your life to go that deep on every single story that you talk about. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I make a video a day, sometimes multiple videos a day. And oh, by the way, stream for 4 to 5 plus hours every single day. I don't know how much time you think it takes to do this stuff, but whatever you're thinking, I promise you, takes a hell of a lot more time than what you're thinking it does. So with a story like this coming through, it's just a very simple story. I'm like, okay, confirms a rumor. Great. This guy checks out. He works there. Okay, great. Got an email here. Okay, great. I'm going to run it. Did I have a little inkling of suspicion when I was running the story? Yes, I did. But I'm like, you know what? It checks out. Everything checks out. All my suspicions that I had checked out. And in the grand scheme, the story is a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. So the game got delayed a month Big deal. Oh, it didn't. Haha, gotcha. Okay, it's not delayed a month. Big deal. Like, what? How is this a big deal? I'm failing to understand. He's trying to make this leap that because I did this one thing here, that my entire credibility is thrown into question now. And if anything, the opposite is being proven here. Anyway, let me keep reading this. Sorry. I need a drink. Holy shit. Haru says, you literally did everything a journalist is supposed to do. More than I could say a journalist cites that these game devs shill for, i.e. Shmunkatu and such. Well, that's actually the really frustrating thing. I know Hypnotic was like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't stress about this. I do like to hold myself to a high standard. Definitely a higher standard than the pro gaming journalists out there, the establishment, if you will. And something like this does hurt my credibility. It does in the grand scheme, because it's like, oh, remember, he's the guy that ran that story that wasn't a story, because how can you believe anything he says? I get that, and that's frustrating to me. But at the end of the day, all it does is prove that nobody's perfect. And I think what people really need to focus their attention on is not the idea that a person got something wrong. It's what's the context? Was it done maliciously to catfish them? Did they lie about who they were? Did they create paper trails that are fabricated to prove what they're trying to do? Like, if you're going to go out of your way to fool someone, chances are you're going to be able to do it in this line of work. If you really, really, really want to. It's the same thing. Like, if you really want to steal from a store, you can do it. Like, you can do it. Is it illegal? Yeah, it's illegal. In California, that's questionable. But who's going to stop you? Ethics will stop you from doing that. The thing that he's calling me out on. Where was I? The only communication is attached. Anyone can look at him trying to encourage more people, by the way, which this is, again, dog whistling. And I picked up on this right away when I saw him write this. This is before I made my video talking about it. I even said, like, I already know more people are going to start sending emails trying to fabricate stories, which, oh, by the way, jokes on them, because now that's more content for me. Now I can make videos talking about these ridiculous stories that get sent to me. Like, turn shit into a win. They can't defeat me. Pretend to be anyone important, pretend to be anyone, and it becomes news. Winky face. This has been a trend. One time does not make a trend, my guy. Especially if it's a one-time confirming a rumor. And oh, by the way, I'll tell you guys straight up, this will happen again, by the way. In fact, it probably will start happening a lot more now that they found a crack. No matter how much work I do, I'm going to be a lot more forthcoming in my videos saying, hey, just so you know, question everything, because I've been fooled before, which is what they want. They want to try to plant the seeds of doubt with people, because they want to try to discredit people, because for some reason, these people think that by knocking other people down, they will, by default, be raised up. I'm like, no, bro, that's not how it works. You being disingenuous, straight up unethical, and trying to bring someone down will only do the opposite. Ask your good friend who's retweeting you right now, Alyssa Mercante, how that worked out for her when she came after me. Like, I've been here before. This isn't my first rodeo. I know how this works. Okay. I do my best. I stay as ethical and honest and transparent as I possibly can be. These people don't understand how to do that. And that's why they lose. That's why they fail. They have so many skeletons in their closet. They have to hide everything in their lives. I don't understand how he says this has been a trend. And I have more examples. Please indulge me on your more examples. And this is the part. This is the big part, guys. Get your drum roll ready. Ready for this banger of disingenuous and straight up lie. Straight up lie, okay? And I am very confident that this is a straight up lie. In fact, his BioWare, quote unquote, leaker reached out to me to say they were just messing with him. This statement right here completely destroys whatever point you were trying to make. You actually may, if you worded this right and were pretty insidious about how you went about what you said, you could have fooled a lot more people. But this part right here undermines everything. His BioWare, quote unquote, leaker reached out to me. I have multiple BioWare leakers. How would they know who you are? Like, first off. Secondly, you sure don't mind showing proof when you got me. Why aren't you showing proof of that? It's curious. Almost like you're trying to now throw other stuff in there to pile on to make it sound like I'm way worse than I am to prove your point even harder. But in doing so, you're actually hurting your case tremendously because this exposes the type of person you are, as if the top part didn't already. To say they were just messing with him. My leakers, plural, from BioWare, have been spot on about nearly everything, with one thing being TBD and a minor update coming from him saying that that may not actually be happening right now, but it actually could be happening a little bit later. They're not sure yet. That was like the last update I had from him. So now they're just messing with me when literally everything they've told me was spot on. The sales numbers on the dot. The expected tail of future sales on the dot. People being let go on the dot. Corinne Bush leaving on the dot. So that guy was messing with me with all this stuff? That's weird because he has a really odd way of messing with someone by telling the truth every time he talks to him. That's fascinating. But okay. You are lying here. Straight up lying. This is actually embarrassing. But this is a straight up evil person. This is not a troll. This is an evil person. This is someone that's maliciously doing whatever they can do to try to ruin someone. That takes a very dark heart. That's an awful, awful human being. Make your bag of money. Wait a second. It's almost like, hold on, guys. It's almost like we had Alyssa Mercante retweet this guy. It's almost like it's always about the money with these people.
Money, print money, cash, money, well, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, more money, heaps and heaps of money, print money, cash, money, well, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, super chat money.
As salty as the sea, calling us no code names. SJW screaming, but it's money they blame. Burning with envy, they're falling flat. They can't handle the sound of a super chat.
I find it funny that they always go back to the money. These types of people on that side. It's always about the money. It's interesting how it's always about the money when the channel finally starts making positive income. I poured 7 years of my life into this channel and tens of thousands of dollars into this channel over those 7 years with no promise of a return of money, with no money coming in at any point, with no promise of the channel growing or doing anything. I did it because I love this, because I genuinely felt a passion to it. And I feel like that 7-year period is the type of thing that separates the failures like this McDizzle and the success stories like this channel. So now that I'm finally, after that 7-year period of pouring money into the channel, I'm finally starting to see some return on it. Now it's all about the money. Apparently the past 7 years, I was just really bad with money and thought that it was about money for 7 years when it wasn't. If you can do what you love and find a way to make money off of it, you are in heaven, my friend. That's where I find myself right now. I do not take this for granted for a second. I am genuinely grateful and thankful every moment. Why do you think I'm living on this? Like literally, like I said, 4 to 5 plus hour streams every single night. 1 to 2 videos a day, every single day. 1 to 2 articles on smashjt.com every single day. Every single day. Oh, and by the way, still having a life outside of YouTube. And you try to tell me that I'm doing this for the money. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. It's straight up jealousy. It's straight up jealousy. That's what it comes down to. Make your bag of money. Do you know how much this guy wishes he was sitting here right now talking to you guys? As much as he's trying to expose me, he would trade this infinitely over to be sitting where I am right now and to be able to talk to you guys right now. Don't think for a second that's not lost on me. That's how grateful I am to be in this position, to know that there are people out there trying to ruin me because they're so damn jealous of what I have. But don't expect bad reporting not to be called out. A way to avoid that is to do a better job. Look at this guy fucking grandstanding, fucking morally grandstanding. Holy crap. That's impressive. But hey, like I said in my video, props to you. You got me. You got me, McDizzle. Congratulations. You got me. You got me. That's awesome.